Hi and welcome to the last video of 2023 from Dean Park. Each year I like to look back on the models that I've purchased in the last 12 months. It's a good way to pick out what I've liked and perhaps disliked about certain models. It's certainly been a busy and an expensive year in terms of new releases, and I've added more than my fair share to the Dean Park fleet. I'll quickly go through the new models that I've purchased and then present my top 3 models of the year. So, what will top my chart? Join me as I take a look at the models that broke new ground and forced me to open my wallet. Hornby are on decent form this year, releasing a host of desirable models, most with upgraded 21-pin DCC interfaces. This included more Class 91s in celebrity liveries. The Flying Scotsman power car was impressive, but the best for me was the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, with its thought-provoking vinyls. This was superbly reproduced by Hornby and proudly takes its place in my modern day collection. The Class 91 releases were improved on the 2022 releases and ran smoothly with no chassis wobble, a fault that plagued some of the initial releases. Margate also released a fresh set of Class 87 logos, and I've added this executive livery one. This features an upgraded 21-pin interface and improved plastic poisable pantograph. The livery really suits the 87, but it's bizarre that the colour of red stripe differs on the door compared to the rest of the body. Only Hornby could have managed this. It only detracts from the model ever so slightly, as otherwise it's a really well produced model and packed with decent detail. I've also added some new wagons from Hornby in the form of these stunning TTA tank wagons. This marks a real return to form by Hornby in terms of tooling new wagons. Hornby continue to produce die-cast models under their double O branding. This includes Flying Scotsman that I added to my collection earlier in the year. These models have die-cast bodies and are packed with superb detailing, including a flickering firebox. I think everyone should have a Hornby Gresley Pacific in their collection, as they're stunning locomotives. Another APT made its way to Dean Park this year, Hornby addressing a lot of the issues that appeared on the first release of this model. This includes correctly positioned side cab window, an updated pantograph design, the fitting of crew, and a vast improvement on the interior lighting. The latest release got a 21-pin upgrade and got rid of the huge capacitors in the passenger compartments, fitting them with microcapacitors instead. The interior lights now stay on for over 8 minutes once the power has been removed. I've got the full 14-car version along with an extra powered NDM vehicle, as this will be needed if I want to run the full length train. Finally from Hornby, I took delivery of my first rake of the newly tooled Mark III coach. This is a pretty well detailed and accurate coach from Hornby. It's also got the capacity to upgrade to internal lighting, as well as a host of updated details, including kinematic couplers, fine separately fitted details and impressive bogies. The only thing that counts against this model is the awful cast wheels fitted to the bogies. These have the brake disc detail on them, but they're so noisy. I've replaced mine with turned metal wheels from Hornby and fitted etched brake discs. They now run quietly and they look amazing. Moving on to Accurascale, and they continue to break new ground with their model releases. This includes the impressive Class 37, which along with its accurate shape and fine details, also boasts what I believe to be one of the best sounding ready-to-run sound locos produced to date. I've added a few 37s to the collection this year, including 37027 in BR Blue with Eastfield white stripe, 37043 Loch Lomond, which comes in stunning large logo livery, and 051, which wears the attractive subsector livery and is probably my favourite out of the 3. All of my Accurascale 37s are split box 37.0s and have the Scottish fitted headlight on the nose. Accurascale launched a nuke earlier this year with the fna-d nuclear flask carrier wagon. This is one seriously impressive product with a weighted die-cast chassis. It also has rotating axle boxes and super smooth running thanks to the brass bearings on the axles. There's a flashing tail lamp which is operated by a magnetic wand. Gaining access to the battery means a delicate procedure of removing the top of the flask, but once fitted, the wagon is easy to live with and operate. You won't fall out with this lovely product. In early 2023, I added a pack of the Transpenning Mark V sets to the collection. While out of my main era, the livery is gorgeous, so I had a moment of weakness and I added a set. I did a full review of this set, and the link to that is at the top of the screen. Whilst impressive, it's not without its issues, weak and flickering lights at the driving cab being my main gripe. I got around this by fitting a suitable Stay Alive unit, and I've been assured that this issue will be addressed on any future releases of these sets. 2024 promises to be a busy year for Accurascale purchasers, with the Mark IIB coaches coming and then the Mark IICs following on from those, along with the Class 50, 55s, 66 and the Class 89, which are all on pre-order. No doubt there will be more surprise announcements in there to open my wallet once again. Rainbow Railways, in conjunction with Revolution Models, gave us the new TUA tank wagons back in June, and these are brilliant models. I bought a selection to run in Speedlink freight services, which include the original grey and orange liveries, along with the later ECC blue one. All these are bang on my era, and I've really enjoyed running them at Dean Park. They are my first Revolution products, but based on the success of these, they're unlikely to be my last. The folks at Barwell announced some sought after models this year, which I just couldn't resist. These include the BR Blue Class 20s with disc markers, which is a model that I've waited for since Bachmann released the new Class 20 over 3 years ago. The two models I bought both have the larger Scottish style cab windows, and I really like my factory faded example, number 072. This looks and sounds the part when pulling some mixed freight around the layout. My other purchase, 20100, is in pristine condition, with the Eastfield Highland Terrier motif. The Bachmann 20 is a superb model, packed with detail, and it runs really smoothly. It was my model of 2021, but will it top the chart again this year? Well, stay tuned to find out. Bachmann also flooded Dean Park with more Class 37s, and these include 37260 Highland Radio with its centrally mounted car-style headlight. This is one of my favourite Class 37s so far, and it's the first to appear with this light arrangement. As with all of my Bachmann 37s, it's in deluxe trim, with sound, rotating fans and tinted glazing included. The sound file on these is really good, but to truly get the best of them, a slight speaker upgrade is required. I've also added a freight distribution 37 to the fleet. I really like this livery on the 37s. The triple grey suits the loco so well. Another new purchase in the same livery was the Bachmann Class 90. I'd been eyeing this up in the Scoonie Hobbies cabinet for some months, so when a decent offer came my way, I just couldn't resist. It's got the operating pantograph and it's packed with detail. This model has been heavily used of late, as it's been my OHLE test loco, as I fitted the new Pico overhead masts to the layout. If you want to see more about these upgrades, check out my December update. The link to that will be at the end of this video. I didn't add too much in the way of Bachmann coaches to the collection this year, but I did finally take delivery of the long-delayed Mark IIA in ScotRail livery. These are good coaches, and it was great to finally get them in this livery. I've also upgraded the detailing by adding etched brake discs to these examples, as these were fitted on the real coaches while in service with ScotRail. Finally, from Bachmann, I caved in and bought another Class 40 for the fleet, this time in the guise of a Scottish machine with square-cornered domino headcode box. This is a sound-fitted example with Plux 22 upgrades. It's also got more detail in the cab than on previous releases. The Rapido OAA wagons finally arrived last month. These are packed with underframe detail and a die-cast wagon floor, but what lets these down is the noisy running, thanks to the wheels that have brake disc detail cast into them, and they suffer from the same issues as the Hornby Mark III in this respect. The colour of the rail freight red is also a bit off the correct shade. However, in reality, these wagon liveries varied and they also faded, so a bit of weathering and they should look fine. Otherwise, this is a lovely product. I also added a few ferry vans to the collection this year. Rapido have done a superb job on these, right down to the sliding doors and internal detail. It's crazy to think how far we've come in the last few years, with companies such as Rapido now detailing parts of a model we don't even see. I often wonder how things can actually get any better than we've got just now. A product that can't make it into my top models this year, purely as I didn't buy it myself, is the Rapido Tipfield Thunderbolt Train Pack. This wins the award for being most fun, with the sound recordings taken from the real film. Other sounds are limited, but the sound of the chuffing around Dean Park is almost therapeutic, and I love the sound of the whistle. This is on loan from friends of mine Jim and Chris, the dynamic father and son sales duo from Scooney Hobbies. It's a really impressive little engine from Rapido.
Observe the departure. You may take the train out. This is it, Dolly. Oh, Sam. One's first sermon all over again. We want the Tipfield Thunderbolt.
I finally added a Strathclyde liveried 156 to the fleet, and I've been after one of these units since the days of Lima. So when Realtrack announced this model, I placed my pre-order. And nearly 3 years later, it's arrived. But was it worth the wait? Well, I suppose it was. It's a beautifully presented and finished model. It's got twin motors, with sound fitted in both units. Whilst not as quiet and smooth running as, say, the Bachmann Class 158, its low profile motor does the job. I'd highly recommend taking a look at the Realtrack 156 if you model any era from the late 1980s onwards.
Welcome aboard this service to Glasgow Queen Street.
So now that I've gone through my main purchase of 2023, which ones make the podium? Well, in third place, I've put the Bachmann Class 37. I really rate this model as it's robust, well detailed and performs well. The only things I would like to see improved are the underpowered speakers and the snowplow design, which is truly awful. In deluxe trim it's also very expensive, but with Bachmann you do get quality. I'll no doubt be adding more to my collection in the future. In second place, I've got the Class 37 from Accurascale. With market-leading sound and a model that's packed with detail, it really had to be up there with the best for 2023. It's a great model to have, it pulls really well, and as I've just said, the sound is up there with the best. I especially like the hall sensors fitted to this model, that when activated give realistic flange skew when the loco is cornering, therefore behaving just like the real thing. So what tops my chart this year? Well, it has to be Hornby's die-cast Flying Scotsman. I was just blown away with this model. It's just a quality product. It looks imposing, and with its heavy die-cast chassis, it's so planted on the track. She also looks majestic going around the layout. Well done Hornby, and it has to be said, Simon Kohler as well. You've done the Scotsman proud. Dean Park's Model of the Year, Hornby's A3 Flying Scotsman. Well, that's it for this video, and indeed for 2023. Thanks for joining me this year, and I'll be back next year with some more content from the Dean Park channel. In the meantime, Happy New Year, and cheers for now.